A kid chased after my girlfriend for 7 years, and she always knew about him and totally hated the guy. But when Liam was about to get wiped out by the system for botching his mission, Ava lost it and rushed to save him, ditching me at our engagement party. She said that a guy who had loved her for 7 years shouldn't meet such a fate. What she didn't realize was that the second she stepped out of the engagement party, my mission also tanked, and the penalty was to forget her. I was standing on the party stage in a sharp black suit, my smile stuck, waiting for my fiancée, Ava Chen. The crowd was packed with our friends and family, but the happy buzz had vanished, replaced by confusion and whispers since Ava hadn't walked up yet. She was obviously backstage, already in her wedding dress, but she just wouldn't come out. The host had nudged her 3 times only to send her back each time. Mr. Brown, Miss Maya's on a video call with someone, and she looks really upset. I can't push her anymore, the host said with a dry chuckle. I tightened and relaxed my jaw, holding back my growing anger. Ava was probably on a call with him. His name was Liam. Ava and I grew up together, hanging out and studying side by side, going to the same schools from kindergarten all the way to college. Everyone thought we were meant to be, and all our friends and family believed we'd walk down the aisle. Ava even swore she'd marry no one but me. She was cold to all other guys, including Liam, her junior. Liam came into our lives 7 years ago when Ava and I were sophomores, and he was a freshman. He hailed from a poor mountain village, tall and skinny, dressed plain but not unfashionable because his eyes were bright, like stars in the night sky. He used those bright eyes to watch Ava. Ever since she stood up for him when the supermarket owner suspected him of shoplifting, the boy fell in love with his heroine. But Ava didn't like him. She wasn't into the breakfasts he brought her every day, the water he handed her after badminton games, the umbrella he held over her in the rain, or his honest claim that these were just acts of gratitude, and he had no other intentions. He had no other intentions for 7 years. Even after graduation, he worked near our company just to see Ava every day. What a relentless dude. But Ava was mine. At least until Ava walked on stage. She was mine. For the sake of my parents' reputation, I forced myself to keep my cool and wait for Ava to come on stage. Ava finally stepped up. Her wedding dress was a bit messy. Her hair was all over the place. Her face showed guilt and conflict, and her lips were pressed tight together. The guests finally sighed in relief and started clapping and cheering, trying to lighten the mood. The host grabbed the mic, ready to start, but Ava ignored everything, walked up to me, grabbed my hand, and said hoarsely, "Babe, I'm sorry, but I gotta go. Can we push the engagement party back a month?" "What?" I looked at her, wondering if my eyes weren't as bright as Liam's. Why couldn't I tell if Ava loved me or not? Ava stayed silent, her eyes flickering as she muttered, "The date's bad. Let's pick another date next month." Did something happen to Liam? I hit Ava hard in the heart. Ava stiffened, her face changing as she forced a strained smile. "Liam's in the hospital, advanced cancer. The doctor said he probably has only a month to live. Someone already confirmed it." It was true. No wonder she hesitated so long. She had someone going into the hospital to check. Seems like what he said before was legit. He's bound by the system. If he can't win you over, he'll get punished. I nodded calmly. This wasn't a secret. Liam had told Ava long ago that he had to win her over or he'd die. In this life, he loved no one but Ava. Yeah, he's facing severe punishment, dying in the agony of cancer. Ava sighed, pressing her lips together again. She always hated Liam. After all, being hassled for 7 years had drained her patience. She even lost her temper once and accidentally hit Liam. He curled up on the ground, crying and apologizing, but he said he just loved Ava and couldn't control himself. Psycho. This was Ava's usual take on Liam. Now it seemed her view had shifted. The engagement won't take long. For both families' sake, let's finish the ceremony first and sort everything else out later, I suggested coldly. It was a fair suggestion, preserving a man's dignity. I didn't want to completely lose face at this high-profile wedding, so I kept my composure. I held on to my last shred of dignity. Ava's expression changed again. She looked down at her watch and anxiously said, I should go check on him first. I'll go alone. Babe, you stay here. She turned to leave. I felt the anger that had been building up in my chest about to explode. My fists clenched tight, my gaze fixed on Ava. Were all the years of our relationship and our family's expectations going to be trashed today? What a joke my family and I would become. Let's finish the engagement first. It won't take long, I spoke again, hoarse and holding back. Ava turned around, took a deep breath. Babe, I don't want to lie to you. Liam said that if I marry you, his mission will completely fail and he'll die immediately. So can we wait a bit longer? Ava spoke softly, no matter how annoying he was. He had loved me for 7 years. He shouldn't meet such an end. I laughed in anger. Seems Liam's mission hadn't failed yet. He was still trying to salvage it. And Ava, anxious and restless, her heart was no longer with me. She really wanted to fly to Liam's side right away, not willing to stay a second longer, even for our engagement party, even for the sake of both our family's dignity. I shook my head in self-mockery. Unexpectedly, I was the one who ultimately failed the mission. Liam had his system, and didn't I, Noah, have one too? Seeing that I was silent, Ava kissed me apologetically. Babe, I love you, but Liam has suffered so much. I can't bear to see him die. Forgive me. I'll be back. She turned and left. Everyone was stunned. Relatives in the audience called out to Ava, but she ignored them, heading straight for the door. I looked up, watching Ava's figure move further and further away. The moment she stepped out the door, I felt the world spin, a sharp pain in my head, and I collapsed to the ground. Host's mission failed. All memories of Ava will be erased. I woke up in the hospital, met by my parents' concerned eyes. There were also some relatives and our kind neighbors, Uncle Ben and Aunt Maya, in the room. Seeing me awake, my parents cried with joy, finally relieved. Uncle Ben said apologetically, Noah, you finally woke up. Your girl went crazy. She made me so angry. I swear I'll break her legs. Yeah, Noah, don't take it to heart. We'll make sure to discipline Ava properly. She's really out of line. Aunt Maya's eyes were red as she kept assuring me they would educate Ava well. I was a bit dazed, my mind blank. Ava, who is she? Isn't Uncle Ben and Aunt Maya's daughter named Zoe? How could there be an Ava? Seeing me in a daze, my parents got nervous again. Touching my forehead and my hand, my mother cried, Look at what Ava has done to our son. They've been together for so many years. She ran away at the engagement party. How can our son face the world? Ah, don't blame us, in-laws. I've already sent Zoe to find her. We'll get to the bottom of this and give you an explanation. Uncle Ben apologized deeply. I frowned, hesitating. Wait, who is Ava? Ah, the relatives in the room were all dumbfounded. My mother was shocked, touching my head again, calling for the doctor. The doctor came, and I was given another thorough examination, with no abnormalities found. Physically, I was very healthy and could be discharged any time. I just didn't remember how I ended up in the hospital, and it seemed I had forgotten quite a bit. Finally, the doctor suggested I stay for observation for 3 more days and be discharged if there were no further issues. I stayed in the hospital for 3 days, and my parents, along with Uncle Ben and Aunt Maya, refused to leave. They ate and stayed at the hospital for 3 days, taking turns to look after me. I felt embarrassed. It was fine with my parents, but Uncle Ben and Aunt Maya were too good to me, and I wasn't used to it. I told them to go home, that I was fine. Uncle Ben and Aunt Maya exchanged glances, their expressions a bit strange. Noah, have you really forgotten Zoe? You're our son-in-law, so it's only right we take care of you. Aunt Maya didn't like my detachment. I laughed helplessly. Who exactly is Ava? I can't be her husband, can I? Yes, you two were about to get engaged, but something went wrong. Uncle Ben took the opportunity to tell me about Ava and me. He talked about the engagement party and even mentioned our childhood, how we walked dogs, teased cats, climbed mountains and trees together. When we were 7, both families went to the beach together, and Zoe was swept away by the sea. Without thinking, I jumped in to save her. If not for the lifeguard, Both of us would have. Uncle Ben spoke while watching my face, hoping I'd remember. I smiled dryly. I didn't remember any of it. Not a single bit. Uncle Ben got anxious, and Aunt Maya sighed. Maybe he's too angry and temporarily forgot. No, I'm not upset. I don't even know Ava, so why would I be angry? I said. On the second day in the hospital, it was sunny, and I was in a good mood, scrolling on my phone and eating pastries. Uncle Ben was outside making a phone call, his voice loud. You silly girl. Noah's in the hospital and you don't come to see him. I'll beat you to death. You can't just ignore him. Even if he's dying, you better crawl over here. Hello, hello? Apparently the other party hung up. Uncle Ben dialed again, but the other side had turned off their phone. Beside my bed, my mom shook her head. Since yesterday, Uncle Ben and Aunt Maya have made dozens of calls, and Ava only answered one today. My mom was very angry, completely disappointed in Ava. I shrugged indifferently and continued scrolling on my phone and eating pastries. In the afternoon, Zoe came. She's Uncle Ben's daughter and my childhood friend. We're very close. As soon as she arrived, she checked on me and relaxed upon seeing my healthy complexion and natural expression. Brother-in-law, don't worry. I've already scolded my sister for you. She's such an idiot. She pissed me off, Zoe swore. She was always straightforward, but she wouldn't be so rude in front of the elders. Clearly, she was very angry. Uncle Ben hurriedly asked what was going on. Zoe took a sip of water before speaking. It's Liam causing trouble again. Liam has always liked my sister, right? He once stood outside our house for a whole day and night in the rain without leaving. He has cancer now and doesn't have long to live. He wants my sister to accompany him through his last days, and my sister agreed. She's already moved him to the seaside villa to let him face the sea and enjoy the spring flowers every day. Zoe got angrier as she spoke and slapped the table. I went to the seaside villa and saw my sister feeding Liam. Liam looked so happy. It made me furious. Zoe clearly understood everything. She had confronted Ava face to face. My parents were livid, almost cursing. Uncle Ben and Aunt Maya were also furious, and Aunt Maya almost fainted. Uncle Ben gritted his teeth and said angrily, Ava, you're such a disgrace. After scolding, he quickly apologized to my parents and tried to reassure me, Noah, I'll personally go catch Ava and make her kneel and apologize to you. Aunt Maya agreed, urging Uncle Ben to go catch her quickly. I blinked, continuing to eat my pastry, looking bewildered. Zoe was a bit confused and cautiously asked me, Brother-in-law, are you okay? I felt fine. What's wrong with me? Is something wrong with my phone or the pastries? No, nothing's wrong. Everything's great. It's pretty interesting. Actually, I really found Ava's story quite amusing. A real soap opera. Everyone exchanged glances. My parents were both angry and worried, fearing something was wrong with my brain. They once again asked the hospital to examine me. The results were still normal, but everyone thought I was acting strange. Uncle Ben, without a word, angrily went to fetch Ava. On the third day, he brought her back. My parents, Aunt Maya, and Zoe were all present. The moment Ava entered the room, she looked at me with guilt and concern. Babe, are you okay? I actually wanted to see you earlier, but Liam just got out of the hospital and is in bad shape. I had to take care of him first. Ava came over and apologized. I stared at her. Honestly, this woman was really beautiful. About 5 feet 5 inches tall, with a slim and slender figure, high nose bridge, and big eyes. It was hard for her to look unattractive. Uncle Ben, Aunt Maya, when did you get another daughter? I have to say she's pretty, I complimented. Ava froze for a moment, frowning, and reached out to take my hand. Babe, I'm Zoe. We grew up together. Don't say things like that out of anger. Before she could finish, I instinctively pulled my hand back, frowning in displeasure. Who are you? And how can you just touch my hand? I'm a decent person. Ava froze again, then lowered her head with a bitter smile. Dad said you lost your memory. I know you're pretending. You hate me now. I'm sorry, babe. It's my fault. Please listen to me. She reached for my hand again. I frowned even more, shaking her hand off. What are you doing? Don't touch me. Ava didn't expect my reaction to be so intense. Shaking her hand off, she felt bitter and humiliated, lowering her head and speaking hoarsely. I won't touch you anymore. I know I've deeply hurt you, but Liam is dying. You know, he's going to die. He's had a hard life with a tough family and harsh living conditions. He's never had a good day. Ava lifted her head. He wasted 7 years of his youth on me, and now he's dying. I can't just stand by and watch him suffer. Isn't a person's life more important than our engagement party? Ava questioned me. My parents were about to explode with anger. Uncle Ben slapped Ava on the head. Shut up. Is this about the engagement party? Liam or no Liam? Who's more important, him or Noah? Dad, you can't compare like that. Liam has cancer. He sacrificed so much for me, Ava retorted. I felt annoyed. I didn't care about the engagement party or who was more important. I just didn't like this stranger touching my hand twice. Stop arguing. I don't want to see you. Please leave, I sighed, asking her to stop arguing. I don't want to see you. Please leave. I sighed, asking her to go. My parents also wanted Ava to leave immediately. Ava pursed her lips and slowly stood up. Babe, I still hope you can be reasonable. Liam has suffered so much. Our happiness is equal to his suffering. I pretended to have amnesia. Hate me if you want. I accept that, but please be generous. Show Liam some understanding and forgiveness. I felt speechless. What was she talking about? What was she yelling about? Sorry, I really don't know you. As for Liam, I think he was a junior of mine in college. He's had a tough life. You should take care of him. Love him well. I wish you happiness. I sincerely wish them a long and happy life together. Ava sighed again. I'll come back when you stop being angry. She turned and left, ignoring Zoe's scolding and Uncle Ben and Aunt Maya's attempts to stop her. That night, a sudden storm brought heavy rain and thunder. I woke up in the middle of the night, startled. It's embarrassing to admit, but I'm terrified of thunderstorms. When I was 7, I got lost once during a thunderstorm, crying my eyes out. And since then, I've had a psychological shadow. Thunderstorms make me feel like I stepped on a snake. My parents and Uncle Ben and Aunt Maya weren't around. They were probably resting in the caregiver's room. I didn't wake them up. Instead, I stayed under the covers, scrolling on my phone since the thunder was keeping me awake anyway. But my mom came in, seeing me awake. She teased, "With all this thunder, I knew you wouldn't be able to sleep." I smiled. "Yeah." My mom touched my forehead and sighed. "I remember when it used to thunder. Ava would come over with an umbrella in the middle of the night to keep you company because she knew you couldn't sleep." "Really?" "Yes. She was so worried about you. I remember after we found you, there was another thunderstorm and you were crying again. Ava ran barefoot to our door, calling for you, telling you not to be afraid. She got soaked and had a high fever for days. She grew faster than you then, was taller than you, really like a big sister." "Haha, really?" I didn't feel anything, just smiled and said she was silly for doing that. My mom hesitantly asked, "Do you really not remember Ava?" She suspected I was pretending too, since all my tests came back normal. "Mom, I don't know Ava, and I don't like Ava. My first impression of her is terrible. Please don't mention her again." I frowned. My mom thought for a moment and nodded. After being discharged, we took Uncle Ben's car to his villa. The maid had already prepared lunch, and many of the Ben family's relatives were there. "Celebrating my discharge, Noah. Today is your discharge day. We're here to celebrate and apologize. We hope you won't blame us for not teaching our daughter well," Uncle Ben said, full of guilt. I quickly waved my hand. Uncle Ben had been taking care of me in the hospital for days, and he had worked hard. We had a joyous meal, and the Ben family's relatives all said nice things, hoping I would forgive Ava. They were afraid I would call off the engagement. As our family's businesses were closely linked, our villas were next to each other, and a fallout would be ugly. But I really didn't know any Ava. Uncles and aunties? You and my parents have been friends for years. No matter what happens between Ava and me, it won't affect our relationships. Please rest assured. I gave them some peace of mind. Everyone relaxed a bit. Aunt Maya spoke at the right moment. "Noah, when Liam comes back, we'll make sure to give you a grand engagement ceremony. We won't let you suffer any grievance." As soon as she finished speaking, the butler came to report that Miss Ben had returned. Everyone looked towards the door. Uncle Ben looked pleased and got up. I scolded that girl. It seems she's realized her mistake and has come back to apologize, but his expression quickly changed because it wasn't just Ava who had returned, but Liam too. Liam, tall and thin, was wearing a white coat and a thick hat, coughing and holding Ava's hand nervously at the door. Everyone was stunned. Uncle Ben angrily shouted, "Ava, are you crazy? Have you no shame? Let go of his hand." Liam was startled, his already weak body shrinking further. Ava explained, "Dad, don't scare Liam. He's become timid after getting cancer. He was freaked out by the thunder last night, and the wind and waves at the seaside were too much. So I brought him home. You all are usually not at home, so I didn't know you were having a meal here today." "Shut up! You're completely insane! Get out, and take Liam with you." Uncle Ben was furious. Liam shrank back further, saying nothing with his head down. I was really curious about what the main character of this dramatic story looked like. I hadn't seen my junior Liam for many years, so I was genuinely curious. So I walked over in motion for Uncle Ben to calm down. Ava met my gaze, slightly avoiding it, looking both embarrassed and guilty. I didn't care about her, I observed Liam. He gave a dry smile and looked up, revealing a pale face and still bright eyes. His eyes were exceptionally bright, brighter than the stars in the sky. Even though his face was bloodless paired with those peach blossom eyes, he still looked like a delicate, handsome guy. When he was in college, he was very simple, his clothes old and shabby, exuding a lack of confidence. Now he was still not confident, just more miserable, considering he had cancer. "Liam, it's been many years," I smiled. Liam stood dumbfounded, staring at me in confusion. Ava spoke up. "Babe, it's all my fault. Don't blame Liam. I'll take him away immediately." She pulled Liam, wanting to leave. "He's in such a state, a gust of wind could blow him away. Why are you taking him around? Let him stay here. The environment is good, the air is fresh, and we can call a private doctor anytime. It's suitable for recuperation." I offered my opinion. Liam froze again. Ava didn't freeze, but seemed a bit angry. It seemed my excessive magnanimity and lack of jealousy were unacceptable to her. She probably thought I was being sarcastic. "Ava, what do you want?" I said we could get engaged in a month, and you have to make a fuss. "Why are you making fun of Liam? He doesn't have many days left. Can you let him be a little happy?" Ava got angrier as she spoke. I felt baffled. "Why are you angry? I'm just concerned about my junior's health. A terminal cancer patient can't handle being moved around. Firstly, I'm not being sarcastic. Secondly, I won't get engaged to you in a month because I don't like you. Finally, I really don't know you. So please watch your tone," I sternly warned Ava. No one behind me spoke. Liam didn't speak either. Ava, frustrated, pulled Liam into the villa. "Fine. Noah, you're really something. You keep pretending. I'll take your advice. Liam should stay here to recuperate. This place is perfect for that." She was furious, her personality quite impulsive. Uncle Ben shouted angrily, "Ava, stop! Who allowed you to bring an outsider home?" Noah did. Ava was very angry, so Liam moved in. All the relatives were furious, feeling indignant for me. I didn't care. I wanted to go home, luckily. We lived in the same neighborhood, with my villa right next door, back home. My parents cursed Ava and felt sorry for my suffering, a grown man like me, being jilted by my fiancé, who then brought another man home. It was too much, but I didn't feel it was a big deal. Isn't this great? Who was Ava anyway? Why should I feel wronged? At night, it started thundering again. Summer storms come suddenly, and the thunder is especially loud. I couldn't sleep again. I remembered my mom saying that Ava would come over during thunderstorms to keep me company, but now she wouldn't come, as her darling Liam was scared of thunderstorms too after getting cancer. While I was thinking this, the doorbell rang, barely audible in the storm, but my phone notified me. Someone was visiting in this thunderstorm. My mom went to answer the door and let the person in. I listened and heard Ava's anxious and high-pitched voice. "Noah is afraid of thunder. All these years, whenever it thundered, he needed me to sleep. He can't sleep without me. Noah is already asleep. All these years, whenever it thundered, he needed me to sleep. He can't sleep without me. Noah is already asleep. You should go back. My mom responded with deep resentment towards Ava. Aunt Maya, it's all my fault. I lost my temper with Noah during the day, but I really love him. It's just... I sighed. Can I go up and see him? No. My mom flatly refused. Ava was silent for a moment, then sighed. Then please tell Noah that I know he hasn't forgotten me. I'll wait for him to forgive me, even if it takes a lifetime. Ugh. Disgusting. I got goosebumps. Not afraid of the thunder anymore. I turned on the light and got up to drink some water. Glancing at the Ben villa, I could see the third-floor room. The light was on, and a tall, thin figure stood by the window, staring silently in my direction. I was startled, realizing it was Liam. He stood there like a ghost, probably waiting for Ava to return. I quickly drew the curtains, not wanting to have nightmares. After a night of heavy rain, the air was filled with the fresh scent of earth. Zoe came running to find me. I was having breakfast, and she unceremoniously grabbed my milk to drink. Brother-in-law, I'm so fed up. Now I have to live with Liam. My parents have gone back to the company, and I feel completely uncomfortable. At her house, it's just her, Ava, and Liam. My parents are furious and have cut off my sister's card, but my sister has saved a lot of money herself and has a terrible temper. She even said that if we drive Liam away, she'll kill herself. Zoe kept complaining. I found it amusing. Such a devoted fool. Brother-in-law, I can't take it anymore. I don't want to stay at home. Let's go out and have some fun. How about we attend our alma mater's anniversary celebration tomorrow? Zoe suddenly suggested. I was taken aback. Our alma mater's anniversary celebration. Oh, right. My university was about to hold its anniversary celebration. We alumni were invited to go back and celebrate. Oh, right. My university was about to hold its anniversary celebration. We alumni were invited to go back and celebrate. Zoe was actually my junior, a few years younger. Why do you suddenly want to go to the anniversary celebration? I asked Zoe. Zoe shrugged. This morning, the school called my sister, inviting her to the celebration. She even gets to give a speech. No wonder she was one of the Tsinghua twin stars back then. Why didn't they invite me? I'm quite accomplished, too, earning 3,000 yuan a month. Zoe was indignant. She was actually mocking herself. Her 3,000 yuan salary was just nominal. Her actual allowance was 100,000. I couldn't help but laugh, but my memory was a bit fuzzy. Were there twin stars at Tsinghua back then? Wasn't there just one star? That star seemed to be named Mia. Mia was the brightest star in Tsinghua's history. During my college years, Mia's miracles were everywhere. For example, she took 9 elective courses and ranked first in 3 of them. She won first prize in the National College Physics Competition. She won the first special prize for Tsinghua in the International College Student Mathematical Modeling Competition. She was incredible, leaving a deep impression on me. Later, I heard she went abroad, recruited by several top universities. She was probably settled abroad by now. Brother-in-law, what are you thinking about? Are we going to the anniversary celebration or not? It would be nice to see old friends. Zoe was excited. I wasn't too keen on going, especially since Ava was invited, and I didn't want to see her. But after thinking about it, why should I avoid her? She's not significant to me, just a passerby. Let's go. We went enthusiastically. On the day of the celebration, we had already roamed around the campus, eating and drinking. After we were full, we jogged to the Tsinghua Grand Auditorium. The Grand Auditorium was where the celebration was held. Spacious and bright, with seats and a stage, I heard there would be a ball after the speeches. A real party. In front of the auditorium, we saw 2 posters. One was of Ava, and the other was of Mia. There wasn't much to say about Ava. She was indeed impressive, with an amazing resume and a strong background, donating to her alma mater every year. It was fitting to invite her to speak. As for Mia, she was more mysterious, having disappeared for years. From the poster, I learned she was a professor at Stanford University, the youngest female professor in Stanford's history. She was really something. Stanford is a top school. Mia truly deserved to be one of the twin stars. Since she graduated, no one from our school had achieved such an honor. Zoe was in awe, taking pictures with her phone, and she's so beautiful. Look at that dress and those refined lips. I was a bit disgusted. Zoe was fangirling too much, even over a woman. I didn't look too much and pulled her into the auditorium. There were alumni everywhere, including some familiar faces. After a few pleasantries, the celebration began. The principal and leaders gave speeches, followed by Ava. She looked stunning today, like a celestial fairy, causing an uproar as soon as she took the stage, showing her immense popularity. My sister is really amazing, I thought, just a bit confused. Zoe clicked her tongue. I didn't respond. After Ava's speech, Mia took the stage. Her popularity was much lower than Ava's, not because she was inferior, but because she was always aloof, solitary in school. Though admired, she had no social circle, so everyone found her unattainable. I studied her. Her beauty was different from Ava's. Ava was like a descending fairy, while Mia was like a mystical deer hidden in the mist. Seeing a deer in the forest, that was her. After Mia's speech, the celebration reached its climax. The grand auditorium turned into a party venue filled with lively or mature alumni chatting and toasting. Zoe loved food and ran around, eventually disappearing. I looked for her everywhere but saw Ava walking towards me. She was the center of attention, with eyes following her everywhere she went as if she had her own aura. I had to admit she was impressive, but I didn't want to see her because my first impression of her had already made it difficult for me to like her. "Noah, you're here too," Ava called out, her expression complex. I ignored her. Ava tried to make conversation. "Did you come specifically to see me? It's rare for me to give a speech this year. How did I do?" I frowned. How self-absorbed can you be? "Ava, I'm just here to have fun, and I really don't know you. Can you watch your words?" I harshly reprimanded her. The nearby alumni fell silent, puzzled. Ava's smile faded. She pursed her lips and suddenly grabbed my arm, pulling me away. "What are you doing?" I angrily scolded. "Noah, is there really no love left between us? I know I've wronged you, but do you have to humiliate me over and over?" Ava gritted her teeth, feeling both indignant and sad. "Yes, there's no love left because I don't know you. How many times do I have to say it? I really don't know you." I was getting angry. "Who do you think you are?" Ava's eyes instantly reddened, tears welling up, looking pitiful. "Fine, keep pretending." She forced back her tears, took a deep breath, and turned to a nearby guy, sweetly smiling and inviting him to dance. The guy, delighted, immediately took Ava's hand and started dancing. Ava looked at me intentionally, trying to provoke me. I was speechless. Was she a child? "Noah, it's been a long time. Would you like to dance?" A gentle voice called out. I turned to see Mia smiling at me. Mia's gentle voice didn't quite match her reserved and cool demeanor. It was a striking contrast. I pointed at myself. "You mean me?" "Yes, Noah." Mia continued to smile. I was a bit skeptical. "You know me, I was practically invisible at Tsinghua." "Invisible? Not quite. As a top student in the language and literature department, you defeated me in the debate competition." Mia chuckled. I recalled the event. It did happen. Bored, I had signed up for the debate competition, wanting to learn from the big shots. Surprisingly, I performed exceptionally well and won first place. One of my opponents was Mia, but I hadn't noticed this great figure at the time. To be precise, I hadn't noticed any girl. I remember the debate topic was whether love or life was more important. We chose love, and your side chose life. Mia reminisced. "We were destined to lose that debate. How could love be more important than life?" "Indeed, I won by luck," I said modestly. Mia laughed. "You won by skill. Back then you were unstoppable, full of youthful energy, like a tree on the cliff brimming with life." What kind of metaphor was that? "But it was a compliment," I said, and I appreciated it. So I accepted her invitation to dance. Otherwise, it would be boring. I confidently took Mia's hand and led her onto the dance floor. She surprisingly knew how to dance very well. She didn't seem like a high and cold academic goddess, but rather like a stunning white rose. I teased, "Do you dance often?" "Yes. There are many balls abroad, and you learn as you go." Mia looked up at me slightly. Her gaze was intense, quite inconsistent with her usual image, but her gaze was not off-putting. It was filled with admiration and praise. I felt a bit embarrassed under her gaze and found a topic to ask about. "You seem to have not returned to the country for many years. Why did you come back this time?" "I'm about to get my green card. This might be my last time coming back," she replied. I nodded, watching her gentle movements. The music on the dance floor was graceful and beautiful, with pairs of alumni laughing and chatting. I enjoyed this moment. It felt like youth, but suddenly Mia was bumped into and almost fell. I frowned and saw Ava and her dance partner nearby. Ava's face was livid, and she looked murderous. Clearly, she had bumped into Mia. Mia steadied herself and saw Ava. She didn't say anything, just signaled for us to leave. "Stop!" Ava couldn't help but shout. She ignored her dance partner and came over to grab my other hand. Mia looked displeased. "Ava, what are you trying to do?" "Mia, don't you know Noah is my fiancé?" "What do you mean by this?" Ava was even more displeased. People around us turned to look, bewildered. I was frustrated. "Ava, are you crazy?" I shook off Ava's hand, wanting to leave quickly. "Mia, I'm talking to you." Ava got angrier. "I don't want to make a scene, but don't lose face either and leave with me." Mia, not wanting to lose face either, left with me. "Mia, I'm talking to you." Ava got angrier. "I don't want to make a scene, but don't be shameless." Ava was clearly losing her composure with her status and upbringing. She usually wouldn't say such things. Mia stopped, her gaze firm, her gentle voice filled with pressure. "Ava, do you want to be thrown out?" This was the biggest provocation. Ava instantly flew into a rage and punched Mia. She had clearly learned boxing, and the punch was accurate. Amidst the crowd's exclamations, Mia got a nosebleed but wasn't weak either and fought back immediately. She knew Taekwondo and her moves were precise. I was stunned. What kind of grudge did these beautiful women have? Ava's madness was understandable, but Mia, with her status, how could she be even angrier than Ava? I quickly pulled them apart. Alumni also came forward to help. Both were bleeding. Mia's nose was hurt, and Ava had blood on her mouth. "Noah, come with me." Ava pushed through the crowd, trying to pull me. Mia said nothing, just looked at me. I felt she wanted me to go with her. Without hesitation, I supported Mia and left. "Let's go to the hospital, Noah." Ava was stunned, incredulous. I looked back at her. Her face was filled with shock and indescribable fear. She seemed finally afraid of losing me. I took Mia to the school clinic. After a simple treatment for her wound, Mia was fine. "Are you out of your mind? A professor at Stanford University, getting into a fight at a party? Aren't you embarrassed?" I still couldn't understand Mia's thinking. Mia laughed. A silly laugh. "Tell me, debater Noah, do you think life is more important or love?" She asked me a question. It felt like many years ago when she stood on the debate stage meticulously asking me questions. I froze for a moment, then playfully slapped her on the head. "Are you crazy? I think love is more important. Without love, life is just an empty shell, and there's no difference between living and dying." Mia said earnestly. I was speechless, raising my hands in surrender. All right. Love is important. This time, you win." She laughed again. She seemed especially happy tonight, her smile particularly radiant. But it was getting late, and I had to find Zoe, the foodie. I said my goodbyes, telling her that if we were fated, we would meet again. After all, she was going back abroad, and meeting again would really require fate. Mia hesitated, as if there was something she wanted to say, but couldn't. "I'm leaving now," I waved. Mia opened her mouth, and when I reached the door, she finally spoke. "Noah, are you still going to marry Ava?" I paused, sensing that she knew about me and Ava, even though I had no memory of it. "Did you approach me on purpose? Who sent you?" I turned to look at her. "Liam told me you and Ava broke up, so I came back. Mia didn't hide it. I fought Ava to vent for you." "Noah, Vent for me. I immediately understood everything. Mia had been used by Liam. Liam was too cunning. He first used his cancer to gain Ava's sympathy, preventing her from getting engaged to me, but Ava still loved me and wouldn't give up on me. So Liam tricked Mia into coming back to be the third party. As long as Mia took me away, Ava would have no choice but to be with Liam, allowing Liam's plan to succeed. You've been used. I shook my head. Mia chuckled. That's not the point. Haven't you noticed I'm confessing to you? I did. It seems that not only did I defeat you in the debate, but I also won your heart. I smiled, a bit of male pride showing. Mia sat on the hospital bed looking up at me. You haven't changed. You're still like a tree on the cliff, probably swaying, growing freely in the sunlight and spring breeze. Thanks for the compliment. So can I be the little grass beside you? Mia asked. The rock is too hard. The grass doesn't grow easily. Think it over before you say anything. I waved and left first. I caught up with Zoe on the campus path. She was looking for me too. Quite anxious, brother-in-law. My sister fought with Mia. I'm at my wit's end. Isn't this just humiliating? Zoe complained helplessly. Let them fight, I said as I led Zoe home. By the time we got home, it was already late and our parents weren't home. Zoe decided to stay at my place. She didn't want to go back and live with Liam. My parents had given the final ultimatum. If my sister didn't send Liam away by tomorrow, they'd use force to kick him out. Awesome. Zoe followed me into the house. Uncle Ben and Aunt Maya were civilized people, but they still gave Ava a final ultimatum. I think your sister is spoiled. Your parents are too indulgent with her, I complained. She is spoiled, but you bear a lot of responsibility too. If you hadn't allowed Liam to move into Ava's house, my parents wouldn't be in this stalemate. Zoe gave me a look. She was right. I had let Liam stay at Ava's house. My parents wouldn't be in this stalemate. So be it. Back home. We cooked some steaks. After dinner, the doorbell rang. Zoe ran to answer it and exclaimed, Liam, what are you doing here? I raised an eyebrow and went to see. Sure enough, it was Liam. He was wrapped in a white coat, wearing a thick hat, his pale face devoid of any color. I need to talk to Noah, Liam said. He's not available. Get lost. Zoe tried to chase him away. Noah just called me and told me to get ready. She wants to marry me. Liam continued. Zoe was shocked. What? Say that again? Ava wants to marry me, Liam said calmly. Zoe was furious and reached out to hit him. I intervened. Zoe, go upstairs. I need to talk to Liam, brother-in-law. This guy isn't a good person. Zoe refused to go upstairs. I gave her a stern look, and she reluctantly went upstairs. Now it was just Liam and me on the first floor. Liam walked in as if he owned the place, scanning the living room and eyeing the wine cabinet. The elegant bottles of wine glistened under the light. I'd like a glass, Liam pointed to the wine rack. I took a bottle of wine and motioned for Liam to sit down. He sat at the dining table, his bright eyes fixed on me. His eyes had always been this bright. I opened the bottle and poured him a glass. He took it with both hands, staring at the gently swaying liquid. I poured myself a glass and took a sip, asking, What do you want? He didn't answer immediately, taking a gentle sip of the wine and then showing a blissful expression, sighing softly. It's so good. This is the cheapest one. I said truthfully, It doesn't matter, choosing my words carefully. Noah, do you know, my dream has always been to drink wine elegantly like you. That's a dream. Of course it is. When I was 7, the village showed a movie, and I sat on a dirty bucket, watching a city white-collar worker drink wine elegantly on the blurry screen. It was noble and handsome. That image stayed with me for a lifetime. Liam's face had a faint smile, and his complexion improved a bit. And then I worked hard, studying whenever I wasn't working. I broke pen after pen, wore down finger after finger. I was the first college student in my village. My parents borrowed money to send me to Beijing for school. Their backs were bent from carrying rice. Their eyes stung from sweat. I finally had money to study. I got into Tsinghua University. I was going to make something of myself. I could be a scientist, a businessman, a government official. At the very least, I could be a city white-collar worker. I could finally cross my legs and drink wine, handsome elegant, noble. I wanted my parents to drink wine too. They deserved it. I listened quietly. Liam faced many of the same struggles as other kids from poor villages. Even if they got into college, the difficulties continued. A glass of wine might be a lifelong dream. So, you want to marry Ava, the rich woman, and live a life of luxury, drinking wine every day? No, Noah, you don't understand me. Liam gave a bitter smile. I had a great future ahead. I had the chance and ability to change my family's generations of poverty. I could be a scientist, a businessman, a government official. At the very least, I could be a city white-collar worker. I could finally cross my legs and drink wine. Handsome, elegant, noble. I wanted my parents to drink wine too. They deserved it. But I was bound by the system. I had to win over Ava. It's laughable. I spent 7 years of my youth trying to win over a woman, being her lowly simp. Liam laughed louder and louder. Tears welled up in his eyes like a sudden flood in the mountains. Do you know what it feels like, being forced to exhaust everything to be a woman's simp? I couldn't study properly, couldn't progress, couldn't complete my coursework. Everything revolved around one woman. If I resisted, I would die. I slammed the wine glass on the table, spilling wine on his hand. He shook it off and stared straight at me. I couldn't even feed myself. But I had to buy breakfast for Ava. I didn't like badminton, but I had to cheer for her again and again. I was weak and got sick in the rain, but I had to hold an umbrella for her. When I didn't want to, I faced death threats from the system. It felt like a wire around my neck, choking me, not allowing me a moment's breath. Liam said a lot. Tears streamed down his cheeks, which he quickly wiped away. I stared at him blankly. So you never liked Ava? A man like me never aspired to love? In my eyes, only that glass of wine is what I desire. No man would be willing to waste 7 years of his youth for a woman. The so-called love isn't even worth 7 days of pursuit. Liam spoke firmly. I was speechless. Liam sniffled and exhaled a relieved sigh. I tricked Mia into coming back. I knew she had a crush on you since your debate about whether life or love was more important. I watched the whole thing, and she didn't disappoint me. She infuriated Ava. Ava, out of revenge, decided to marry me to make you regret it. Liam sneered. I know her intentions. She hopes to provoke you to stop her from marrying me. That's why I'm here to ask for your last favor. Don't stop her. Let me end this game. I understood everything. Ava wanted to provoke me. Her decision to marry Liam was made in a fit of anger. If I went back to her, she wouldn't stop her. Let me end this game. Liam continued. If I went back to her, she wouldn't marry Liam. Then Liam's plan wouldn't succeed. If Ava marries you, will everything end? Will your cancer be cured? I asked. Yes, it will all end. Liam was extremely tired. It's been 7 years. I'm almost 30. I'm so tired. When will I get to drink my glass of wine? After saying this, he took out a bank card from his pocket. I looked at him curiously as he pushed the card toward me with some reluctance. I've saved 89,000 yuan. I've wasted all my energy on Ava, so this is all I could save. I'm giving it to you as payment. The password is 137654. I didn't want to accept Liam's, but he didn't take it back. He simply finished his glass of wine and with his sickly body, left. Zoe ran downstairs and asked, Did that scoundrel leave? What did he say? Nothing important, I replied while putting away the card. Zoe looked skeptical. Nothing important? Then why did he come? Is my sister really going to marry him? Yes, there was no doubt. Ava had been driven mad by Mia. She planned to marry Liam to provoke me. She grabbed the household registration book and ran off to get married to Liam. It's all over. Zoe was on the verge of tears. I wouldn't be her brother-in-law anymore. I also foresaw a lot of trouble ahead, as the relatives from both families would surely explode. I would have a massive headache dealing with it. Zoe, I'm going on a trip. Tell everyone not to look for me. I'm fine, and I have Mia. I decided to leave early, or I'd be overwhelmed. That day, before the relatives could come looking for me, I packed a few things and hit the road. On the way, I informed Mia and asked her to join me on the trip. As night fell, We sat on the high-speed train, exchanging smiles. Noah, where are we going on this trip? To fun places? We'll travel for a month and then see. A month should be enough to avoid the chaos, right? Mia agreed to everything, and we traveled wherever we wanted, eating, drinking, and sleeping as we pleased. Of course, we also took care of our needs. For example, if her feet were cold, I'd warm them up in my arms. As they warmed up, so did we. What could we do? Those who understand, understand. After the trip, we returned to Beijing. Mia's parents were eager to come back to the country, and she excitedly went to welcome them. She also arranged for us to have dinner together so she could formally introduce me to her parents. I was naturally happy to oblige. Then I called Zoe to ask what had happened in the past month. Brother-in-law, you're finally back. Sigh, my sister is a mess. She's been drinking and gambling every day. Zoe sighed heavily. That can't be true, can it? It's only been a month and she's like this. Liam divorced her. They got the certificate one day and divorced the next. It was all just for show, and everyone was shocked. Zoe herself was stunned. We all thought he was after money, burying my sister to live off her, but he divorced her the next day, without asking for any compensation. My sister's heart was still set on you. She regretted getting married right away and agreed to the divorce immediately. After the divorce, Liam told her something, and she became completely lost and broken. Zoe was exasperated. There was a commotion on her end, and then the phone was taken away. I heard Ava's sobbing voice. Noah, is that you? I know I was wrong. Please come back. How could you forget me? Are you trying to win me back? Because I abandoned you. You forgot me. I didn't understand. What was she talking about? Liam told me. He figured it out. You failed to win me over, so you lost your memory. I deserve to die. Please come back. Please? Ava was crying her heart out, but I remained indifferent. Because honestly, I didn't know her. I'd already married Mia. Goodbye. I turned off my phone, never to see her again. I was in a good mood and didn't feel like going home, so I decided to take a walk around the city. Passing by Wanda Plaza, I saw a familiar figure. He was dressed plainly, tall and thin, enthusiastically handing out flyers. I stood there watching him, looking at his smiling face, his thin body under the sunlight, and his clothes fluttering in the wind. I walked over. He saw me and froze, then invited me, "Want to have a drink? There's a cafe over there, and I have a bottle of wine in my bag." "Where did you get the wine?" "From Ava's house. I couldn't let those 7 years of being a simp go to waste, so I took the most expensive bottle of wine from her house." "Good move. Let's go have a drink." Half a year later, I married Mia, and my family had long since moved out of that neighborhood. Ava had completely fallen apart in these 6 months, drinking heavily, gambling, and neglecting her health. A once beautiful woman had turned into an addict. Her parents were so angry that they fell ill. In the end, they decided to give up on her, letting her hit rock bottom. I saw Ava again on Christmas Eve on the street. She revved her sports car loudly, with a pretentious male model in the passenger seat screaming. I watched from a distance as Ava, yawning, got out of the car with the male model and took a drag on her cigarette. She had lost all the pride and elegance of the Tsinghua twin star. Now she was just a mess. Damn it! So many people. Where's the bar we went to last time? Ava cursed as she looked around for the bar. The male model giggled. I forgot too. Where was it? We drank so much we forgot. Ava suddenly stopped, turned to the male model and yelled, "Forget your ass. You're not allowed to forget. Not allowed." The male model was terrified, apologizing repeatedly. Remember it now." Ava slapped the male model. He quickly pointed in a direction. "I remember. It's over there." Satisfied, Ava walked towards the bar, smoking her cigarette, but after a few steps, she suddenly broke down in tears, collapsing to the ground and crying loudly. The male model remembered, but the person she loved couldn't remember her. A long time later, I met Liam again. He wasn't handing out flyers anymore. He had passed the civil service exam in his hometown. After all, he was from a key school. After 7 years of hard times, Handing out flyers was just a temporary way to make money. With his abilities, he was bound to succeed eventually. After passing the civil service exam, he was preparing to leave Beijing. Before leaving, he came to see me holding a bottle of wine. I smiled. Want a drink? No need to be polite. It's not our first time drinking together. We drank happily, mostly with Liam talking and me listening. He worked hard, desperately passing the civil service exam in his hometown. He could finally sit back and drink wine with his legs crossed. This was a wine that had been delayed for 7 years. Let's raise our glasses and toast.